Hey everyone. So, I was just talking to my best bud. We were conversing about the point of Christmas and what the hell the world's coming to when it comes to Christmas. Now, for some of us out there wondering, again, we are not good when it comes to Christmas. That's right. Little kids nowadays are asking for too much crap. That's right. In the old days, a Matchbox car, stuff like that would be easy. Nowadays, they need $300, $400, $500, or $1,000.
Oh, when I was a kid, it was Legos and Lincoln Logs, erector sets. The girls were getting Barbies and dolls and Tickle Me Elmos and stuff. And nowadays, it's like, this would be Christmas morning. Little Timmy sitting there and, well, here, Timmy, open your present. Oh, it's a new computer! And then, here's the printer to go with it, and the ink cartridges, and here's your iPod and iPad. And we also got you the scanner, a flatbed, plus your own personal fax machine. By the way, how old are you, Timmy? I'm 1, 2, this many!
4.
Yeah, so you're 4, little Timmy. Great! You're going to be a great little doctor when you grow up. I'm sorry. Get them their frickin' Lincoln Logs. Keep them from getting their iPods.
When I grew up, we had video games. But video games were not going for a measly $39.99 to $59.99. No, my Super NES games were going for $79.99 per game. That's what it was going for. Now, how about this one? I grew up, we had no... That's right, no computers. We grew up, a computer costed $6,000 for a 386.
Let's bring back the Transformers and the G.I. Joes. And
let's bring back the old affordable model railroading where the kids could be like, oh yeah, train set. Instead,
so if you're going to get your kids something expensive, maybe get them one of those Power Wheels they could drive around the backyard and think they're all like daddy and stuff, driving around in their big truck.
Or a golf cart for kids. I mean,
or a swing set, if you're going to get really expensive.
Yeah, I mean, there's only so many things a kid needs. I'm telling you.
What are they going to do with the iPad? Sit there and take it into the sandbox with them and bury it in the sand?
It'll get ruined.
They're going to go into the bathtub with it and think it's a float toy?
$3.99
what are they
to
going to do with it? You can't even keep control of what they're watching on your computer now. And what are you going to have them doing? Watching porno at 6 years old? I'm sorry. It's disgusting that's the #1 gift 2 years in a row for kids under the age of 12. Don't forget the number
other gifts are now the Amazon Kindle Fire for reading books.
What are they going to read on it? The Cat in the Hat?
Clive Cussler?
No.
I mean, come on, that's too hard.
Are they going to read the Cat in the Hat without any pictures? I'm sorry, it's the pictures that little kids like. You might get a 7 or 8 year old to read something slightly more advanced, like Dear Mr. Henshaw or something, but still, it's not worth buying a Kindle when you can give them basically a much cheaper item that can still read those things, and most of those books are free.
Sorry, I'm just doing something real quick, just as an example. Another number item for a kid, a netbook. How many kids, Aaron, needs a netbook?
Yeah, a netbook, a tablet PC, a PC, I'm sorry, maybe a CD player would be acceptable, so that they can listen to their, their Charlie Brown sing-along or something.
I'm surprised, Aaron, talking about gizmos, since I am a computer nerd, and Aaron here's my best bud, that a little Timmy doesn't ask for one of these. Just
what would they want a police scanner for? It's boring.
Yeah, but it's just an electronic gizmo.
Well, they'd probably want a PS3 first.
No, that's already on the list, like number 6. But
heck, why don't we just start getting our 12-year-old girls and stuff, do it at home electrolysis kits and stuff, waxing kits, and let them start waxing their own eyebrows before they've even grown any, really. I mean, geez, at least that's closer to a proper advance than giving them an iPod that's way beyond what their intelligence level can handle yet.
Yeah, I mean, heck, It takes me a long time right now just to get the intelligence
There's not
level
even any real
for this.
video games on it. I mean, what are they going to do? Play a video game?
Square Enix has got a few, but nothing that would be interesting for them for the $9.99 price tag. What about Android? Android's got hundreds of thousands of apps. How many kids are going to go through the App Store and just pick out what they want? It took me 4 days to put stuff on the WebOS tablet, and it's only got one camera.
I'm sorry, I grew up in a middle-class family, and my Christmas presents totaled about $200 or $300 total. Any more kids' wish lists for Christmas are ranging from the lowest item being $300, and you can't just give a kid one item for Christmas. And so, filling their list, what are you going to do? Be like $1,500, $1,600, $3,000, $4,000? I'm sorry, that's out of the ballpark for most middle-income families, and it's definitely out of the income for the lower-income families who can't even afford the stuff on these 12-year-olds' wish lists for themselves.
Here is an example. Just an example, okay, people? This here is an Amazon wish list. Look at the thickness. Yeah, little Timmy's Amazon wish list. Now, I don't know about you, but I surely heck do not want my kid expecting 18 years from now, entire list like this to be filled.
I'm sorry, this would be like if a 12-year-old back 20 years ago was asking for an easy bake oven. Today they're asking for a convection oven. A convection oven, sorry. Or a microwave. I'm sorry, you wouldn't give your 12-year-old a microwave. You wouldn't give them a convection oven. You wouldn't even give a 12-year-old a blender.
Or a coffee pot. However,
you give them a plastic play one from Fisher-Price, but you ain't going to give them a real one.
However, just to talk about the microwave thing, I had my own microwave when it came to me. I had my own coffee pot and hot burner, but that's beside the point. The point is I was a different type of child. Point is, nowadays, you need to give kids nurturing thing instead of gluing them to the TV.
I mean, maybe it is something as a learning device, but, you know, that's a rather expensive learning device.
What about
you want a learning device? Get them put that down. You want a learning device? Get them something from Leapfrog or one of those Fisher-Price Read With Me's or whatever. Or you know, you want to teach them some art or something? Get them a light brighter. You want to teach them construction? Get them an erector set. Or you want to have them more physically fit? Get them a Wii. But come on, what's an iPod do for them or an iPad? It does absolutely nothing other than a status symbol. And it's not even a status symbol that they know how to use properly.
I think children in 2012 shouldn't be asking for the iPad. No, you know what I'd say if they want a touch device? I would say the Wii U.
I'm just saying that any parent that fills that on their child's wish list must be a frickin' moron.
Exactly.
I'm sorry if you already went and filled it. You are, my friend, a dumb
monkey. Dumb monkey. Point is you give your kids educational devices. You don't go and give them one of these. Why? Because a child doesn't need it.
Don't be a moron this year. Your kid asks for one of those, just laugh it off.
Yes. By the way, since I'm testing out iPad 3s, can I get an iPad 4 for Christmas this year?
No.
The joke is iPad 4 ain't out, people. That's the joke. The thing is I got enough of these as is, so...
And I'm sorry, I wasn't always able to keep up with the rich kids in my town either. And I was picked on, too, because I didn't have everything that those rich kids had. I'm sorry, let the rich kids' parents who are stupid enough to get them an iPod take it to school.
Or an iPad.
Or an iPad so that their kid can take it to school and have the poor kid that's pissed off at them for having it break it. What are the parents going to do? Buy him another one just because some bully at school pushed him around and threw it on the ground? I'm sorry, that's what's going to happen.
Well, as you know...
Maybe it's a turn of events. Maybe it's rich kids now that should have get the crap kicked out of them for not... for showing off, rather than in the past where it was the rich kids who beat up on the poor kids because they just didn't have it.
So, my question to you is, in this whole video thing, is...
And I'm anti-bullying, but, you know,
my question
it'll happen anyways.
My question to him is, when the time comes, when I need help raising my own sons and daughters, are you going to put your foot down when they say they want the new Windows 16 tablet PC?
Yes.
Exactly. People are.
I don't care if it's 80 years from now and kids that are 10 years old have an IQ of 500. They're still not going to be getting an iPod for their 10th birthday or Christmas.
Exactly. That's the point. They can have everything but. I grew up with video games, but I also grew up with Matchbox cars. I grew up with stuffed bears.
And I'm sorry, if you look at the rates of kids today, they're actually getting stupider and stupider. They had higher test scores 20 years ago than they have now. They're not getting any more intelligent, folks. It's just they want more. And they're not going to get more intelligent because you get it for them. So if you think that it might be some way to increase your child's intelligence factor, think again. It's just a way so they could show off at school.
Just makes them more stupid, in my opinion, for wanting something because the big kids haven't. Unfortunately, you know. I'm sorry to say, but...
I'm sorry if your 18-year-old has something like that on their list. Although an 18-year-old could probably handle it. Get them a netbook, you know.
Or a Chromebook.
At least a netbook they could probably take around with them. Or a tablet PC they might be able to handle. But, you know, I'd get them a netbook. They're a lot cheaper at this point.
Yes, $298 or cheaper.
That way if they break them because they happen to be out... with their friends and they go running through a park and fall down a hill, they're not going to break something that's too expensive.
So, the bottom line is, a child does not need a web OS, an iPad, or an Android tablet.
And children watching this that want one, think of your parents' pocketbooks. They can't afford it.
Oh, what was it we were talking about today?
They'd like to get it for themselves first.
The economy. That's what we were talking about.
Well, that's
also.
because they said we've been in a recession the last 2 years, but last year we set a record for sales on Black Friday, and we set a record for sales on Cyber Monday.
Now Cyber
this
Monday
year we broke it even by further. And I noticed the
6.6
I noticed the Dow Jones is higher than I've ever seen it
291.
before.
It went up today. 291 points.
I know, but it's sitting over 11,000. When I was growing up in '87, when there was that stock crash, it went down to like 3,000. I'm sorry, the economy was worse in '87 than it is now. Right now, the economy's pretty darn good. So anybody who thinks the economy's bad, why don't you pay attention to the numbers? It's actually really good.
Buddy. Here's another one about economy. Me and you grew up in the 80s. Remember the Reaganomics, how they said between 80 and 85 the economy was really crappy down the, what do you call it, the Johnny Flusher? Yeah, it went down the toilet, and look what happens. You look at my mother back then barely had to scrape enough money together for the original NES. I mean, old Aaron boy
now,
with Atari.
I will admit this. At this point, we have one of the highest unemployment rates, too. But from talking to my own personal friends and stuff, so many of them are just lazy and don't want to work. They rather try to get a free ride. And they don't necessarily need it either.
Look at my future wife. My future wife, who's going to be watching this, we were talking about her today, how she's trying her best to take care of her family in a time of need for Christmas. A time of need, whereas these lazy people just think, okay, we'll just be lazy. Okay, that's great.
I'm tired of watching people feigning an arm injury saying they can't work and trying to get welfare and medical because of it. And then we keep hearing all the time for people who truly are disabled that they might lose their disability at any time due to the fact that these people are leeching off the system. Plenty of people who can work, who should work, who aren't working. And I know plenty of people in my life that are truly disabled and cannot work. And you know, the sad thing is that so many people working hate those people because it's their tax dollars paying for it. I'm sorry, why don't they actually hate the people who are just trying to get a free ride instead of the people who really do have a problem? Anyways, we've kind of gotten off topic.
Point is Christmas is supposed to be time for giving and not for a time for making record-breaker sales.
And it's mostly for kids, and it's for toys.
Yes, toys. In the 80s, I used to go to Toys R Us.
I'm sorry, computers are classified as an electronic. You find them in the electronics section of your store. You don't find them in the toy aisle of Toys R Us.
Remember last year's rant, basically, personal rant that you never did a video on, which we saw a report about iPads being sold at Toys R Us? He flew off the handle then.
Yeah, it's just something that shouldn't be on Toys R Us market.
No.
I understand the video games, the game systems.
I mean, listen here, for example, my friends. Since we're talking about tablets and I can change course just temporarily, old Aaron boy here just got a little cranky the other day as well as with me. We were having a nice meal and he said, come to dinner. Then I said, you know what's going on? And he says, no. I said, now you got EB Games and GameStop selling tablets, Apple iPads, Droid tablets.
I'm sorry, it's not really part of the gaming industry yet.
Nope.
When they start having some actual games on it that belong on it, that are developed for it, I'll call it a gaming system. But until that time, I'm sorry, the games that are on it really are not all that applicable because they don't work really as a touchscreen. And when you do use them as a touchscreen, they just don't work right.
For example, Aaron was talking to me about 9 months ago about Final Fantasy 1 and 2. He laughed at it. He's played them on various systems. He said it ain't for iPad. Final Fantasy 3, the DS version.
It doesn't work.
No, Final Fantasy 4 DS. They're bringing it out. They're bringing out...
Isn't Chrono Trigger on it too?
No, Secret of Mana, which you've never played. Secret of Mana doesn't play right. The thing is so tweaked, you know, they've redid it, the graphics
and
on
the touches just don't work there.
Yeah. I mean, I can beat the games, no problem right now. The point is it's not a gaming system.
Yeah, it's just not a gaming system.
So
keep it to the computers and the video game systems like
PS3,
that reminds 360, Wii.
The number 4th Christmas item, since we're talking about Christmas, is top of the line Alienwares.
Like that's really needed.
Like a kid needs a $6,000 laptop.
I'm sorry, I know people who bring in over $100,000 a year who can't afford an Alienware.
Or they
I
want...
mean, you could get the cheap baseline Alienware, but when somebody says they want an Alienware, they're talking full custom model.
And...
everything from custom case to custom processor, top of the line, everything.
Then you got these kids that have a top of the line computer, and what do they want on their Christmas list? A $900 graphics card for games.
I'm sorry, what are they going to be doing? Cartooning? Photoshop editing so that they can make the girl that sits next to them in class be on the body of some supermodel? Or
heck, I can Photoshop myself. Bottom line is, kids don't need this type of crap in the world. It's
Wait until they're smart enough to use it.
Yes.
At least college, I'm sorry.
Exactly. College is different, but no.
Maybe 17 or 18, but you still got to remember 17-year-olds and 18-year-olds go out and do a lot of partying. They do go out and get in trouble after school. I know when I was 18, I used to skip out of school at the very end of the day, and I'd go down to the beach and stuff and run through the woods with my friends and do all sorts of stupid beeps. You know, sorry, I'm not going to swear.
Bottom line is, children nowadays think Christmas is a time to complain and want everything under the sun. I was just watching a movie the other day, Santa Baby 1, where Jenny McCarthy has to be Santa Claus that year, and her dad had a heart attack, Santa. He was making the old 900 year ago wooden toys. What happened to wooden toys? In the 40s, you look around and you see simple things like a bowling ball, clothes, the kid with the air rifle movie, Christmas Story. They had all the traditional toys. Nowadays, it's all high-end gizmos that you got to pay $900 or $1,000 per person or more. My highest Christmas one year for my nephew and niece must have been because my first wife bought them for them. We spent $10,000 on both kids. $10,000 each. They had the biggest and best Christmas ever. All that stuff was gone now, but at the time, their eyes lit up like a Christmas tree. And my mother's boyfriend was not happy wrapping up boxes and boxes. We're talking 6 foot by 6 foot square box, basically, huge, full of gifts, delivered by UPS.
No, I'm sorry, your kid's not really going to hate you if they open it up and they find that they've got a bop 'em bag instead of the iPod they want.
Yeah, well, I'd get them a bop 'em bag. I mean, heck.
Man, I love those things. I'd still play with one today. I'm in my 30s.
And the other last bit of information, since we're talking about Christmas, and I have to add this for some of you out there wondering, is in my life, I've seen hunters I've seen kids wanting to mimic their parents and be like, I want a rifle or shotgun for Christmas, or I want a boot knife or a sheath knife that's this big. Knives and weapons are not gifts for Christmas.
No, instead, get them a puppy and let them learn responsibility first.
Yes,
Although
exactly.
too often today, parents are saying, well, I'm allergic. And I know plenty of people who said that back in the 80s who have dogs now. They weren't allergic then, they're not allergic now. It's just they didn't want one, that was their excuse.
Yeah, and this here is Christmas dog year-round. So...
Well, he was a Christmas dog. We got him December 17th, wasn't it?
Yep, December 17th. Now, for the rest of you out there, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to upload it, so please add comments and suggestions. Sorry we got off topic, but this video had to be made to show the people that, truthfully, Christmas is for kids.
It's a common sense thing. And sometimes you need a bit of a conscience to tell you something. Think about it. Your kid's wish list this year, if it's got an iPod on it, ignore that.
Or a Kindle Fire or an Android
Any
tab.
electronics that you think are meant for adults, just scratch off the list.
Get them a nice, big, jumbo box of Lincoln Logs. And tell them to be creative, or crayons, or markers, or paints. Even Baby Aaron, if I ever have a son named Baby Aaron, I want Uncle over here to teach him how to paint properly. That is the most education thing. Education like
creativity.
Painting. Creativity and educational, where I don't want my kid glued to a TV
and
or
I don't know
electronic.
how many years as a kid I got watercolors for Christmas.
I never got
I
paints.
used them all.
I used to get jumbo things like this, and about yay high, with every type of Crayola crayon at Christmas time. Every year I got it, and every year I used them up. Why? Because I loved crayons.
That's a similar thing. You got crayons, I got watercolors.
No, Mom didn't want me having paints because she thought I'd paint the walls. No, kids, don't get any ideas either. I'm not going to be a bad influence. So, love, light, and peace to you all, and have a good
Happy
Christmas.
holidays.
And happy holidays, and look for more rants if I see fit over the Christmas season. Peace, love, and joy.